Today I'm going to read a book called Whatever After Festival. This is book 1. If you like this story, you can look it up too. Okay, so this story is about a girl named Abby with their brother. They get swooped inside a mirror, but before they get swooped inside a mirror, Abby's brother was playing flying crocodiles, which is sort of like a game where crocodiles fly and he has to try to defeat them. So then he accidentally knocks on the mirror, and first of all it makes the hiss sound. Then it turns purple, and then they get swooped up inside. First of all, they don't know where they are. They think they're in Smithville, which is where they live. But Abby and her brother are very confused. Then they figure out that they're in Snow White's story. They have to try to fix it. So they tried, and then because they had to fix it because Abby's brother Jonah really wanted the apple because he was so hungry. And then he noticed it was poisonous, so then he's like, it's okay, I don't need it. So then the evil witch was getting super frustrated. Then she tried again, but then she was about to smash her head. And then what if Snow doesn't get the story back? Well, Snow had an idea. She was going to pretend she ate the apple, and then she would do this. And then the prince would think she was poisoned. But then he tried the plan. It didn't work out because Snow was so shy. And then Abby and her brother and Snow White decided they would take Abby and her brother home. First of all, they thought it was easy peasy, but it was really hard. They had to get into the castle, and then since they figured out that they came in with a mirror, they could come out with a mirror. So they thought of a magic mirror. And then Snow White thought of one. Her mother's mirror. That's magical. So the hard part was they had to climb up a two stories tall wall, and then they had to meet the mirror, and then Abby kept on asking a lot of questions, and then they ran out of time. So they took the queen's bed's blanket, and then they climbed down it, and then they all jumped, except for Abby, because she was the last person. So then they did the hammock style. They were going to spread out as wide as they could. So then Abby could get on the blanket. And then just when Snow's mother came in, she was like, "Guards, get them!" So then they had to go into the moat. But the bad thing was, guess what? There were 2 crocodiles in the moat. Good thing they had stew sandwiches, which are super gross because Snow White makes yucky stew sandwich, and they put the bread on top. That's gross, right? So she had to throw the stew sandwiches. They took out 3 stew sandwiches, put put 2 for the crocodile and the other for the mama crocodile. And then since they were busy munching on them, they had to swim across the moat so then the guards would not find them. And then they noticed that the huntsman, because one of the questions Abby asked was, where are the huntsman and the prince? And the mirror said they were locked up in the dungeon. So Abby knew they had to save him. So then she ran across the place. But since the guards had spotted them, they had to run through the trees. But since the guards gave up because they climbed all the way on top of the tree, they saw that the guards were looking and searching around. They were not close at all to finding Abby and her brother and Snow White. So then, when they were gone, they came down and then went to the dungeons. But then they forgot they needed a key. So they had to rock climb up through the wall and then go on ask the mirror if there was a key. And the mirror said it was on the queen's necklace. Since the queen was asleep, they could take the key, save the prince, and then they had a very good, happy ending. My favorite part was when Snow White put stew with bread on top and called it a stew sandwich, and then she put the stew sandwiches in a smelly bag. I like it because it's so funny and a little bit gross. My favorite character, Abby, I like her because she always has a plan, knows exactly what she is doing, and has a good mindset. I like when she saw a big stone wall and was super confident that she could climb it. Thank you for listening to Whatever After Book 1, Fairest of All. It was